Hugely, yes, of course. Funding is probably the most noticeable thing. Even in the media, there's a lot more sport, like male sport, on the television. I have to admit that women's basketball and women, like sports in general, for women have grown a lot in the last few years. The coverage is much higher, but it's not at the same level as men. And funding and women's salaries, that is miles behind. A woman considered professional can only live off the sport for a few years, but then after their professional sporting career, they do have to go on to do something else. Whereas men can retire just off playing basketball or football or whichever sport it is. And I think that is problematic because as a woman, you put your career, your post-sport career on hold for so many years that maybe at 30 years old, when you finish playing basketball or whichever sport you choose, you have to start all over again and you are already 10 years behind. I have always chosen not just to play a sport, not just to play basketball, but to do something alongside of it because thanks to my parents probably, I have always been aware that there is life after basketball, and my life after basketball is right now. Newcastle has helped me to mix them both. I am a student here, I am also I am teaching, and I am playing basketball. So here I have the full package, but usually this is not the norm. The norm is that you do one thing full time, and that's all that you can do. I could say the more equalitarian would be perhaps America, but still there was a huge gap. We had 4 coaches, they had 8. Here, the men get more funding. That's everywhere.
Wanting to get a higher level in like female sport, like it's a lot harder to get funding and stuff, and to come over, like it just seems a lot easier for them to do that. So it's not really that fair. I mean, the training and stuff is the same, and you work in the same part, so it should be equal, you know. It is.
It's quite sad that a lot of people with potential don't get very best. So it's quite upsetting, and I think something needs to be done.
You need money to grow, so if we're not investing, then we're not going to get any better, really.
So in terms of professional sports, I would say whoever gets the more fans paying money to come to the grounds that's where the money comes from. So I think it's fair, get whether that's the guys or the girls.
I think there's a separation, but this is a historical thing. If you think about the chain of command, still in most countries, women are still at the bottom, men are still at the top, and that's a historical thing. I absolutely believe that's changing. We are here to stay. And it's an example in sport, it's an example in politics, it's an example in businesses, it's an example on everything. In my opinion, at the university, and just thinking small scale, we need to make an effort to make our athletes known to our students, because our students are the athletes, and creating a smaller or a bigger sense of community for people to support each other within the university.